Yeah, so we started off as we usually do in the area of worst damage, and that turned out to be at the Home Hardware, just north of the town of Ayr. And yeah, the roof on the warehouse portion of that storm had been ripped off, maybe 50% or more, and lots of damage to a lot of the things that were surrounding that, some lumber yard kind of things. Um, Across the street from that, there were some big grain bins, and those were damaged. One was dented in, one had partial loss of its roof. But just behind that, there were rail cars that were tipped over, and that's pretty impressive. Those things weigh maybe 30 tons each, and they were empty, but still being pushing them over. It's not something I've seen a lot of. Some of the trees were really large with big root balls, and over the river, there was a portion of the damage where it looked like every tree was either snapped or uprooted. Um, this usually results in a higher rating than what we ended up giving it, which was EF1. Uh, when almost every tree is down, it's usually EF2. But in this case, those trees that grow along the river tend to be black willow, and those break pretty easily. So yeah, I mean, we saw all of that damage, but when you saw the damage to the houses after the tornado came off the river, it was just the occasional roof with a bunch of shingles off, or maybe a bit of roof damage, like structural damage, and not more than that. So it didn't seem like it was really strong, but still, all accounted for. The maximum wind speed along that track was 165 kilometers an hour, which puts it into the range of EF1. EF1 on the enhanced Fujita scale, which goes to 0 at the weakest and 5 at the strongest. EF1 starts at 135 and goes up to 175 kilometers per hour. So this is near the top end of EF1.
Funny enough, Rogers TV, people have internet and television along that street as well. And our technicians are out there working as hard as they can to get those repaired. But we had a few pictures received from our technicians in the field, and you could see some of the root structures of these massive trees be taller than our technicians' vans. Just you can
Yeah.
see the vans parked right next to them, and people's internet all cabled up and entwined in those roots, ripped right out of the ground, and it's just the sheer force of nature. It's crazy.
Yeah, the tree damage was impressive enough that we're actually going back tomorrow, and we're going to do a drone survey of the entire track, so that we can map out each of the trees and the direction they fell. And we actually have developed software that will allow us to estimate wind speeds based on the direction the trees fell. So that's kind of a second type of analysis we're going to apply to this. Just because there were a lot of trees that were down, and it's really conducive to doing that kind of analysis. So we'll be back out there tomorrow getting more data.